Hey everyone, so welcome back to another Futsaker video. So as you can see, we finally made it to Cleveland, Ohio in America. We've made it, we've landed, and dare I say quite emotional. We finally made it. There was no weekly updates for the last 2 weeks, so sorry about that. But things was just way too hectic to get around to that. In this video, I'll just chat about what has happened the last 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe I'll go into detail in other videos if you guys want, but I'll try and get as much covered in this video as I can. Now, obviously, a lot of that will be focused about the disability part, but maybe everybody or anybody else can get some value from it. So let's get on to this. Right, so first off, let's talk about the approval. So we got our first or official approval letter and tentative travel within 2 to 4 weeks on the 21st of April. So when we got that, the actual approval letter was dated the 14th, but CWS actually only sent that a week later and basically notifying us that we will be traveling within 2 to 4 weeks. The actual travel date ended up to be on the 2nd of June. So once again, guys, don't always stick or follow the dates or the timelines given. But in essence, it's been, let's say, over a month that we had to wait for the travel. I know there's people that's waited longer, but in our case, it wasn't too bad. It was a month and a week. And what I can say also regarding this is we were lucky in a sense because of the disability of my disability. We got contacted 2 weeks prior to our flight. So we didn't get an email to say we're flying the 2nd. We got contacted by ION to reschedule a medical. So we had to do a medical again, me personally. But it's not like a proper medical. It's more like just checking that you're still okay, you're still healthy, check your blood works, blood pressure. And then the doctor just goes over the procedure with you, what's going to happen. And then you get basically, I got informed that I will be getting a escort. So I'll talk about the escort a little bit later, but in that sense, we were quite lucky. No short notice in that. So we had that extra 2 weeks or week and a half where other people only got notified the Thursday that they're flying the Tuesday. So the approval, once you get that and you have to start waiting, that's where the patience needs to come in. Because you hear a lot of people just say, yeah, don't go selling everything and don't go, just go crazy. And it's not that simple. I know I say that as well, and I agree with it. You can't just sell everything and think, just be ready. So what we did is we started selling our stuff, only kept the very basics. And even that, we still ended up flying with a lot of stuff not being sold that we left for family members, either to sell or to just give away. And that wait it's hard because you approved, you don't have a date yet, and you can't stop working. Or luckily I had my own business, so I still had to run my business till the very end. So that patience or preparation that needs to be done, it's not as simple as just go on with your life and when the call comes, it comes. It's really not that simple. But get it as simple as you can. That would be my suggestion. sell off as much as you can without impacting your income or without impacting your, if you've got extra bedroom that's not being used, just sell all that stuff, but don't sell your bed. That makes sense. So that weight is a big problem here, I think, and that shows on you because you're approved and you can't go. So what I want to touch on next is cultural orientation. So a lot of people, when they've received their approval and stuff, it's all about waiting for your cultural orientation and stuff. Now, in my case, I didn't know when I would get that cultural orientation because I got contacted by IOM first and went through my medicals again. They checked everything, got notified of the escort and the procedure that I will be following coming to America, how that'll happen. Because it's not quite as normal most people would do it. So the cultural orientation is normally done a couple of days just before your flight. So in our case, it was done the Thursday when we flew the Tuesday. Now there has been cases where it's done on when you've already landed, but in our case, that's when we got it, basically the Thursday before we flew. And then the other thing also is, even though we knew when we're flying and where we're flying to, we still didn't get our tickets. So we sat into this problem where we were like, was the doctor wrong? Or did the person calling us, is it a scammer? So you always keep having those thoughts of, was the information correct? Because you still don't have your tickets. And everything gets on hold. Even though we got all this information, we went to the IOM again. I went through the medicals and the doctor confirmed our flights. And the doctor confirmed everything's ready to go and confirmed that the escort will be landing in South Africa on the 1st. We still had that doubt of whether we're actually going to fly because we still don't have tickets. And even with cultural orientation, we started cultural orientation the morning of the Thursday just before we flew, and still we did not have our tickets. Tickets only came through the afternoon after cultural orientation. So obviously there was quite a bit of relief once we got our tickets. Now let's talk about the escort. So certain medical conditions, they require a escort. So in my case, I'm a quadriplegic, as some of you know already. And in my opinion, I didn't think I'll need an escort. I still don't think I could have traveled without one. But apparently the way they see it is that you become their responsibility and they've got to make sure that you land in America all good. So the escort was a nurse from Kenya. She has flown a couple of times already. I don't want to, she asked not to put a picture of her, so I'll respect that and don't put that on. I'm not using camera at the moment. I'm still trying to, like I said, sort out my PC as well. Because like I said, it's quite costly. But the escort helps from the moment you get your to the airport. She starts helping you. If you get a escort or for whatever medical reason, and there's a lot of medical conditions that qualify this. There's from people with depression that gets qualified. Some certain diabetes people. There's quite a bit of people that actually it gets an escort. Now, in our case, there was 3 escorts on the same flight. Now, it might happen that one escort might be doing 2 clients or 2 travelers at once or refugees. But in our case, it was 3 different escorts. It's an escort for me, an escort for another girl, and another escort for another guy as well. So there was 3 escorts on our flight. Me and the girl went to the same destination, Cleveland, and the other guy went to another place. But the escort stayed with us right to the end. And I can honestly say, in the end, although I can say we didn't really need her, it was extremely helpful. She helped with baggage. My wife's back almost gave out because of all the weight, the suitcases. We only took 1 suitcase each and hand luggage, but still for my wife to handle me, the wheelchair, and all that kind of stuff, it becomes heavy for her, and the escort helped quite a bit for that. And even at one stage gave my wife a Voltaren injection for pain to help with her back. So I can just thank you to whoever arranged that. That's all I can say. Don't deny it if you are offered it. I don't know if you can deny it, but even if you can, just don't do it. One thing I would tell you though, the escort's ticket also becomes your responsibility. Or you've got to pay it. Now, it's not set to you directly. I tried to confirm it with cultural orientation as well as when we landed. Nobody could confirm it, but when you work it out, the totals and the flights and stuff, what you have to pay back, it does seem like it is included. And not that I don't mind paying that out, but it might be an extra $10 a month. So who cares? For that security and safety, I don't mind that at all. So that's the escort, and thank you to whoever was the escort. Now, there might be certain cases also where the escort it would be a doctor. Luckily for us, that was not required, and it was just God sent for her to be there. Okay, so let's talk about the flight. Our flight was 7 o'clock the evening from South Africa to Paris. Then we had a 3 hours stay over. Then from Paris to Atlanta, where we had a 6-hour stay over. And then we had our flight to Cleveland, from Atlanta to Cleveland. Now, it all sounds good, but the problem with our case, or my case, because we get an escort, we had to report 9 o'clock that morning already at IOM to meet up with the escort to make sure everything's fine again. Again, they did checking blood pressure, everything, and making sure that we are ready to go. We know who the escort is, what their functions is, basically introduction, and arranging the rest of the day. So our flight day didn't start at 7 that night or the normal 3 or 4 hours prior to that. It started way earlier. We met up with the escort at IOM. We got our PRM information, all that kind of stuff at OIM. So we didn't meet up with other people as normal. Everything was arranged there and done there. And once that was done, we were allowed to go back home or wherever you wanted to. In our case, we stayed close enough to the airport. But even so, we went back home for an hour, basically just to pick up our stuff and then go to the airport. We had the opportunity of family meeting us at the airport and just helping us with our luggage and stuff until we got check-in. The escort also helped. That helps tremendously. But yeah, they sorted out everything for the wheelchair. At first, everything for the wheelchair was not booked because of the lithium battery that needs to be removed and taken into cabin, and the electric wheelchair. It wasn't properly booked, but Air France sorted that out quite quickly, at least. So remember, if you do travel with a wheelchair, and especially when it's electric, make sure that you notify them. We did that, but still, make sure you notify them, have proof you notified them, and then at their check-in, also make sure that they do know that the chair needs to go with. They will tag your chair as well, so make double sure you get all that information through. Otherwise, you might end up without your chair. So then the flight wasn't too bad. Not a lot of turbulence. And the last thing we saw of South Africa was the night lights. And then the early morning lights in Paris. The food, we had chicken, something that was quite nice. And then pasta was the other option. Food wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, that was what we had on the flight. You can drink, there's lots of water on the flight, there's lots of coffee on the flight. So make sure you have that. Now remember, if you are disabled, you cannot walk, make sure you take a pillow or cushion with to sit on. In my case, I sit on a Rowe special disabled pillow or cushion. I sat on that on the airline chairs. If it wasn't for that, I would have had pressure sores for sure. If you're not disabled, another tip is just get up and walk around on a regular basis. What we also did is we took for a day or two prior to that a Disprin. But before you do that, just check with your doctor or just ask them for something, because there's a lot of people that can develop blood clots due to these long flights, and you don't want to be one of those. But at the very least, you've got to get up and move around quite a bit regularly. So let's see. Something funny that did happen though is in Paris, this was the notification we got for our flight to Atlanta. It was on time, but it was not a flight time. It was a fight time. So it was funny that mistakes, Africa just doesn't leave you alone all that much. It was quite funny to see fight time instead of flight time. Just a little bit of fun. Another interesting thing that did happen with us on the flight is on the last leg, getting onto Delta, my wife was basically pushed. She was gone. Her back didn't want to work with her anymore. So she booked our hand luggage into the Delta flight. So she booked that in. Now keep in mind, these bags were not wrapped then. So when we got home or to our final destination, we found this notice inside our bag, basically notifying us that they have inspected our luggage, and they are happy with the content. But for us, the big surprise was more about the laptops inside was still there. The jewelry inside there was still there. It did not miraculously got donated to some people in the plains of Africa. So that was quite interesting. Showing you this, keep in mind, if you don't drop your stuff and it gets booked in anywhere, somewhere along the line, it will or can be inspected. So be sure to know about that. I'm not saying it's definitely not going to get stolen. I'm just saying, was it Africa? It would definitely have got stolen. Yeah, your odds of that happening is not so much. So that is basically what happened on the flight. I can tell you that the escort helped a lot. It was really helpful to have an escort. At one stage, my wife really did. She couldn't stay awake anymore. Remember, it was a long day before the flight, during the flight, all that kind of stuff. So any person that flies with me or a disabled, they need that rest and they need that help. So we finally landed in Cleveland, Ohio, 11 o'clock at night. All good. Obviously, like normal, you get taken off the airline last. You get boarded first, but you get, especially like the last flight in this leg, you wait till the very end, you get offloaded, and by the time we got to our suitcases, it was basically nobody at the airport anymore, or of the flight, let's put it that way. But our caseworkers was there. The escort went with us right till the point where the caseworkers took over. The caseworkers signed at the escort that they've taken us over, I suppose alive, but whatever case, at least we were breathing. But the caseworkers were there. They got hold of us. Special transport was arranged for me. So the family took different transport than I did for getting to the hotel. So yeah, everything was arranged. We didn't run into problems. When we did arrive, everything was in order. To give you an idea, this is what our temporary accommodation looks like. Not bad. It is a wheelchair-friendly unit. There is some issues with the bath, but nothing major. But as you can see, very decent, very clean. No problems with this at all. We also ended up, when we got into the unit, we had, the fridge was stocked, the cupboards were stocked, plenty of food for more than a week for the three of us. As you can see, this included bacon, chicken, mince, and a meal time
daar's die
from
kossies ook wat
some
hulle vir ons gegee het.
Dis so nice.
restaurants,
Mince, bacon.
Alles.
fruits, veggies, meat,
Okay,
everything.
goodbye.
And milk by the gallon. So yeah, guys, so that in essence was what has been happening. We landed here, so now I'll start seeing how I'm going to take the future of the channel, exactly how I want to play it and what I want to focus on. I want to talk about a lot of the stuff that we as disabled will face with this, because I've already had some issues regarding the disability and stuff. Not because of it's America, but because the agency is not aware of a lot of stuff. And a lot of stuff that we are not aware of as well, that I've already noticed and picked up. So there's a lot of information out there that most people don't realize or don't know about the refugee program and disabled or elderly travel in many cases. So hopefully I can get some more information regarding that and just shed some light on some of the issues. I hope this was something you enjoyed, and hopefully I can get more info that I can share in the near future. But for now, I'm still working on my PC, getting it done. I'm thinking of maybe setting up a buy me a coffee or something account, although I don't like doing that kind of thing. But yeah, for now, be ready for the next episode, and like and subscribe, and in the comments any questions you have regarding the travel for disabled and anything like that, please let me know. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll see if I can get an answer from somebody that can help. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.